Hello, people. My name is River. I always had a horrible mother-in-law, but you never had stories because she used to stay away from us. Unfortunately for me, my husband Liam brought her right into our house. I was hesitant at first, but Liam begged me to let my mother-in-law Mariana stay with us. I agreed, but was miffed by it. You see, Liam was working in San Diego while I was in a different state altogether. I won't tell you where because I don't want to be recognized. Since Liam worked far away, I was stuck in the house alone with Mariana. Liam just said, "River, you know that I cannot be home right now. It would be good for Mom to be here. She is suffering financially and needs our help. It will be for a few months. You will have someone to talk to and she will have a roof over her head. Liam, you know that your mom hates me. She thinks I'm mooching off you and taking all your money. How on earth do you think we will be great together?" She can change, River. Maybe living closer will help her see that truth. She might start liking you and you might like her as well. I want to support Mom, River. Please don't say no. I will talk to her about not being mean to you. I know she will listen. Now, let me just make something clear. Mariana hates me with her entire being. Liam works a great job while I work a smaller job from home. I have some trouble with my leg and can't travel as much. Since Liam earns a lot, he contributes a big chunk to our household expenses. Mariana always hated it. She said, "I can't believe my son fell for a freaking gold digger. My boy is so rich and handsome. How the hell did he end up marrying a disabled gold digger like you?" Excuse me? You are super rude, Mariana. This is not how you should be talking to me. This is my house and you can't insult me here. This is also my son's house, and in my son's name, this is practically my house. I can call you whatever I want here. You can't do anything about it. Mariana was super insulting to me all the time. Every day from morning to night, I was stuck listening to her complaint about me and my work. She hated my cooking, but never helped me with it. She expected me to do all the dishes and clean the house when she was the one making most of the mess. Anytime I got frustrated with her, she would call Liam and cry about it. Liam would then tell me to compromise and tolerate her a little. I silently bore everything because she is Liam's mom. She had recently hit a rough spot in her life and needed to stay with us until she got her finances back in order. She isn't penniless, but her current bank balance wouldn't have supported her luxury lifestyle. So Mariana turned to me and Liam for money. While Liam gave her an allowance and allowed her to live rent-free, he drew the line when she demanded more. Mariana always wanted more money. When none of us had her anymore, she started to steal from me. I used to find $100 or so missing from my purse every week. Initially, I thought that I was misplacing them. Then I realized that Mariana is taking the money. When I asked her, "Mariana, I've been missing money from my purse every week. No one comes to visit us, and I can't go out as much. Have you been taking money from me?" "How dare you accuse me of such things? What do you even call your money? You are a worthless girl, and all the money you have belongs to my son. Even if I took it, I deserve it, since it's my son's money." "That is ridiculous, Mariana. You know I have a job, and the money you took is mine. You need to give it back. This is not something I can let go of." "Good luck trying to get it out of me, River. You will never get your money back. No one will believe you anyway." She was right, actually. After confronting her, I saw that Mariana wouldn't confess or even deny the charge, so I decided to call Liam and tell him about my suspicions. When I called Liam about the issue, he seemed extremely irritated at me. He said, "Just because my mom has a record of theft, That doesn't mean she's responsible for taking your money. It was a one-time thing, and she has never stolen it again. Look, I'm not saying this because she has a past. Me and Mariana are the only people in the house. I hardly go anywhere all week, and no one comes home anyway. It has to be her. I don't care what you think, River. You can't just say things without proof. I know you don't want my mom in the house, but she has nowhere to go. Please don't accuse her of theft just because you dislike her. Liam's words hurt me. Yes, Mariana had a past of stealing money from a friend, but I didn't suspect her because of that. The entire situation itself pointed towards her, but Liam wouldn't believe me. And he was right. I needed proof to show that Mariana was the thief. For 2 months, I racked my brain to catch hold of Mariana, but nothing came up. That was until my cop brother Nick showed up at the house. He spoke to me privately and said, "Hey sis, you know that I'm going on vacation soon, so I was hoping you could safely keep some money for me. It's about $50,000. I saved it to make a down payment on my dream house. I can't keep it in the bank account because I might spend it away. I have already talked to Liam and he doesn't have a problem, but I needed to ask you." I don't think that's a good idea, Nick. My money has been going missing around the house. I think it is Mariana, but I don't have proof. Liam refuses to believe me. I don't want to risk your money. That's bad, River. So you think Mariana stole the money? How much was it anyway? Till today, it was about $2,000. I'm going crazy trying to come up with a plan to catch her or whoever is stealing my money. You know what, River? I think you should put up some security cameras in your house. Since Mariana is living with you guys, she has to be informed about the cameras. But to avoid that, you can have them installed in your bedroom only. That's a great idea, Nick. That way I can catch her in the act. Plus, it will be safer for you to keep the money at my place. There it is then, problem solved. And you don't have to worry about my money. If Liam still won't press charges against Mariana, I will. That way we could still get some justice for you. I hope Mariana doesn't do something stupid. If she tries to take off with your money, I will be pissed. Liam will be heartbroken as well. We went through with our plan and installed CCTV cameras in my bedroom. After everything was set up, Nick gave me the money. Liam was informed about the decision and he agreed instantly. He wanted to know where my money went and was sure Mariana was innocent. Sadly for him, things wouldn't go as he had imagined. Just 3 days after Nick gave me the money, I saw that it was missing from my safe box. I immediately called Nick, who hadn't left for his trip yet. He told me to check the security cameras and see what happened. It was Mariana who stole the money. I was furious with what I saw. I finally felt like I had an answer to where my money was disappearing. I was also super mad at Mariana for stealing Nick's money when he trusted us so much. It was his hard-earned money, and Mariana just took it like she owned it. She had somehow figured out the password for my safe. She was also missing from the house since the morning and wasn't home even till 10 p.m. I tried to save Mariana by telling her to come home with the money. I didn't want Liam to see her in prison, so I called Mariana and decided to record our conversation. I said, "Mariana, where the hell are you? Why did you just leave all of a sudden? You didn't even tell me." "Well, I'm on my way to a mini vacation on my dream destination. I made last-minute plans yesterday and went off. I won't be home in a couple of days." "You are super broke right now, Mariana. Where did you even get the money to spend on a vacation?" "Don't speak to me like that. I'm your mother-in-law and I deserve respect. You don't need to know how or where I got the money. I'm not a child." "Mariana, did you steal money from my closet?" I can see that $50,000 is missing from my locker. How dare you even accuse me of such things? I would never do something like that. You have gone crazy again. Stop with the lies, Mariana. I know for a fact that you stole the money. We had security cameras installed in our bedroom. I saw you on camera taking the money from my closet. You need to come back immediately and give us the money. Oh, don't be ridiculous, River. You should not be hiding money from me. You don't even need the money for anything. I could make much better use of it, just like the money I took from your purse all this while. That is some messed up logic, Mariana. No wonder you don't have a penny to your name. No matter what, you shouldn't have stolen from me. You need to come home before we call the cops. I know my son, River. He would never call the cops on me. All your plans to catch me will never work. That's where you are wrong, Mariana. Yes, Liam would not have called the police if it was his money. But the money belongs to my brother, Nick. Nick, as you might know, is a police officer, so he will be pressing charges. You are lying. The money can never be his. Stop trying to scare me, River. Now, I will go back to the party while you can stew in your little room about lost money. Bye-bye. Mariana has never been very bright. Yes, she is a thief, but she just has too much faith in the I am old and innocent card. Sadly for her, this won't work in her favor anymore. I called Liam and told him that we needed to talk. He had no idea what was wrong and said, "What is the matter, River? Are you okay? Why is Nick here as well? You're starting to get me worried, River." Yes, it is something you should be worried about, Liam. Your mother has stolen the money Nick left us for safekeeping. What are you talking about, River? I told you before, you can't just blame my mom for everything. Now you're accusing her of stealing Nick's money. I am not falsely accusing her of anything, Liam. Remember the security cameras I put in our bedroom? It caught Mariana stealing the money from my closet. Are you freaking kidding me? Please tell me this is a joke. Mom stole the $50,000 your brother gave us for safekeeping? Yes, Liam. She also accepted the fact that she has stolen money from me before. I have the call recordings of Mariana where she accepted this. I'm sending you all the proof. I hung up on Liam and sent him all the proof I have, the video recordings and the last call that I recorded with Mariana. He would finally see what a thieving little crap his mom is. Liam left me on read for 20 minutes and then gave me a call. He sounded angry and frustrated. He said, "Oh my God, what the hell was she thinking? She's not even answering my calls. Where is she?" She isn't home, Liam. She left with the money. She said she's going on her dream vacation. Do you know where that is? You know that Nick will be pressing charges. Yes, I know exactly where that is. I'm so sorry, River. I should have believed you before. I was so blinded by my mom's tears that I scolded you for nothing. Don't worry. I'll tell Nick exactly where she is. She needs to face the consequences of her actions. We talked a little more about the previous problems we had with Mariana. Liam kept profusely apologizing for not taking me seriously when I complained before. With him so far away all the time, I could understand why he couldn't just take my words as face value. Still, I had a lot of resentment for Liam being so unsupportive. Liam understood the gravity of the situation and booked a flight the very next day. He was coming to help me get revenge against Mariana. It took Mariana just under an hour to call me back. Looks like her victim card didn't play at all. The tone this time was completely different this time. Gone was the horrible attitude of Mariana. This time she was in tears and sounded very panicked. She said, "River, why are the police calling me about the money? They're asking me to come down to the police station." I told you, Mariana. My brother is a cop. And he doesn't take theft lightly. Unfortunately for you, it was the money you stole. Since you refused to return it, he called his superiors and pressed charges. They're saying that they will arrest me if I don't show up. You know I'm far away and can't come home. I don't even have all the money now, already spent it to book hotels and activities in different locations. Well, in that case, Mariana, you will be arrested and sent to jail. I'm sure you know what the consequences are for stealing money. You should have kept that in mind before stealing the money. I did not steal any money. You cannot prove it. You know what? I'll tell everyone that you are setting me up. They can prove you stole it. I have security cameras in my bedroom. Everyone saw you steal money from my closet. You little shit. I knew you were too clever for your good. You have tricked me and spied on me. I'll tell Liam. He'll protect me from the cops, and he will teach you a good lesson. There's no use in telling Liam, Mariana. He already knows the truth. He has seen the video proof. By the way, I have all our calls recorded. My dear mother-in-law, Liam has heard you accept that you have stolen money from me before. Trust me, we will be pressing charges as well. The police will be there to catch you soon. Liam has already told them where you might have gone. Mariana then started to scream at me and wail at the same time. She started to call me a lot of curse words, which I recorded for proof of verbal abuse. Then I simply hung up on her. The cops tracked her down through cell towers. Plus, Liam's help allowed them to track down Mariana and get her arrested. They recovered only $20,000 from her. The rest had been spent in hotels and luxury products like bags and jewelry and designer clothes. Mariana was brought back to our city with the help of the local police department where she was found. She was kept in a holding cell and returned to our police station the next day. Here, too, she was kept in a cell. Liam also flew down from San Diego to settle everything. Both of us went to the police station to see Nick and Mariana. At the station, Liam apologized to Nick. He said, "Nick, I'm so sorry you lost so much money. I can't believe my mom could be such a thief. If I had known, I would have kicked her out sooner. You and River have lost so much money because of me." "You don't have to apologize, Liam. Mariana is the one who stole the money. You were just looking out for your mom. You didn't know any better." "Look, I get it that you love your mom, but she has gone too far. She needs to face some consequences, and unfortunately, I will not drop the charges." "I understand, Nick. I won't ask you to drop the charges. I have helped and supported Mom way too much. This time, it will be difficult. I won't help her at all. No bail money, no lawyers, no nothing. Me and River will press charges for the money she stole from us." The three of us discussed pressing charges and what it would be like for Mariana. From the looks of it, she would be jailed. We would sell the rest of her stuff and get some money out of her savings. We promised to give Nick his money back. After we discussed everything, me and Liam went to see Mariana. When she saw us, she immediately started to cry. She said, "Son, see what your witch wife has done to me? I've been in jail for 2 days now. How can you allow her to put me in jail? You need to bail me out, Liam." "River didn't do anything wrong, Mom. You are the one who stole money from us. I can't believe how you can still expect me to bail you out." "I'm your mother, Liam. How can you not help me? This is your responsibility. I'm here because River couldn't stand me. You gave us so much, but I have so little. I deserve to have some fun money too. You have to see my side as well, Liam." "Mom, I took care of you and provided you with everything. Still, you went behind my back and stole from my wife. No matter what you believe, the money was hers and hers alone. You committed a crime and will be punished for it. Yes, you are my mom, but I won't support the criminal. From today, you are on your own." I didn't even have to speak. Liam spoke well enough for me. For the first time, I could see that Liam would stand up for me even against his mom. Mariana couldn't believe how cold Liam was towards her. She started to bawl and beg him for forgiveness. She also begged me for forgiveness and told me to make Liam change his mind. I simply turned around and left with Liam. Months passed and things improved a lot for me. Liam took a transfer and moved back home. He didn't want me alone and understood how important it was for us to stay together. Mariana was taken to court where she was declared guilty. She had to give Nick and me a chunk of her savings. Also, she had to go to jail for 6 months since it was her second charge. She did throw a fit, but couldn't do anything. Liam refused to visit her in prison and told her not to contact us anymore. Nick got his money and made the down payment for his dream house. Overall, my relationship with my husband is back to normal, and the chances of having a thieving mother-in-law near us are looking slim. Hey y'all, I'm Lily and I'm 24. So my husband Eric and I thought we hit the jackpot with that decent house we bought for cheap. Well, let me tell you, that decision quickly turned into a nightmare when we discovered we had a bug infestation. Ugh, it was the stuff of horror movies. Picture this. Eric was away on a business trip and I was home alone minding my own business when I noticed these creepy crawlies invading my space. I almost passed out from the shock and disgust. I mean, who wouldn't? Panicking, I called Eric, sobbing, and being the sweetheart he is, he assured me that everything would be fine and I needed to get out of the house. He said he would sort everything out, but he suggested I call my mother-in-law, Iva, for help and a temporary place to stay since I didn't have many friends or family I could ask for assistance, and we lived near each other. I thought we got along quite well, but I was surprised when her response was far from supportive. She seemed annoyed and acted like I was being a nuisance. Can you believe it? I was already freaking out and she was giving me the cold shoulder. Hi, Iva, it's Lily. I have something to tell you. Something's happened and I'm freaking out. Oh, what is it now, Lily? Can't it wait? I'm in the middle of something. Well, you see, I came home today and I found, bugs in the house, lots of them. It's gross and I don't know, it's just overwhelming. Bugs? Really? Can't you handle something like that on your own? What do you want me to do about it? I don't know what to do, Iva. Eric's away and I'm alone here. It's just I can't deal with it alone. Eric said he's sorting everything out, but I wanted to ask. Could I stay with you for a few days while we get the house treated? Are you serious? Stay with me? No way. Can't you just find a hotel or something? Well, it's just that hotels can get expensive. We're kind of tight on money right now, and I thought maybe... Expensive? Oh, please, that's not my problem. Figure it out on your own. I'm not going to deal with your mess. I understand, Iva. I just thought we could help each other out. You know, since we're family. Ugh, fine. If you have to come, then I guess you can. I don't need Eric breathing down my neck about this. Trust me, folks. I was just as confused as you are right now. As I mentioned, we used to get along fine. I didn't know why she was being so rude to me at that moment. She must have been going senile. Thanks. Yeah, whatever. Just make sure you don't bring any of those bugs with you. I don't need you messing up my home. Don't worry, Iva. Thanks once again. I'll call you when I arrive. All right, so I finally arrived at Iva's house, exhausted from dealing with the whole bug infestation mess. I was so grateful for Eric because he sorted out as much as he could from his end, calling some exterminators and getting some people to move out some of our furniture and belongings to keep them in a storage unit. I went to my mother-in-law's house, but I was thinking about going somewhere else, considering the way she was treating me. But I couldn't do that. I had nowhere else to go. I arrived and I could see her scowling from her porch. I was lugging around my baggage, frustrated, tired, and sad from what had happened earlier. She saw me struggling. And you know what she did? Nothing. She just stood there, arms crossed, not even bothering to help me with the luggage. Instead, she started complaining about me being infested with bugs. "Hey, Ivor, thanks for letting me stay here while our place gets sorted out. It's been quite a nightmare with those bugs." "Nightmare is right. Are you sure you're not bringing those nasty bugs with you? I don't want them infesting my home." "What? No, I'm clean, Ivor. The bugs are back at our place, not on me. I've showered like 3 times since I found them." Well, I hope you're not bringing any eggs or something." "Ivor, come on. I'm not bringing any bugs or eggs with me. Can you stop being so rude?" "Rude? Me? I'm just looking out for my home." "Okay, but there's no need to be mean about it. I'm already stressed enough dealing with this situation. I don't need you adding to it." "I just don't want any bugs crawling around here. It's disgusting." "I understand that, but it's not like I wanted to have bugs in my house either. Trust me, I wish this never happened." "Well, maybe if you kept a cleaner house, this wouldn't have happened." "Whoa, hold on. Are you seriously blaming me for the bugs? It's not like I invited them in." "I'm just saying if you were more diligent with cleaning, maybe this wouldn't have happened. You've always been quite messy." "You know what? I've had enough of this. I don't need you lecturing me about cleaning. I work hard and I do my best to keep our place tidy, but sometimes things happen that are out of our control." But she just kept making these snide remarks, acting all high and mighty. It was so frustrating, and I couldn't help but wonder where all this hostility was coming from. I finished unloading what I could, leaving the rest in the car, and coming inside. I tried ignoring Ivor, but geez, dealing with geriatrics can be exhausting. There's so much to handle sometimes. She kept complaining about my presence, forcing me to shower 5 times and even leave all my clothes in the bag. Hours went by, and when I tried to strike up a conversation, she would dismiss me and act so cold. It was like I was living with Regina George. Living with those bugs didn't sound bad at that point. At least they wouldn't treat me like I was some creep. I was getting sick of her stinky attitude, so I mustered up the courage to confront her. I asked her point blank why she was being so rude to me. And you know what she revealed? Brace yourself. She was irritated because I didn't give her any grandkids. Can you believe that's the reason? I mean, seriously? Ivor, we need to talk. I don't understand why you've been so cold and rude to me since I got here. Did I do something to upset you? Yes, actually. You pissed me off. For the last time, Ivor, it's not my fault that our house got infested. It must have been the faulty insulation from that cheap house. The exterminator said that the cheap insulating caused the house to be more humid than it needed to be, leading to... That's not what I meant. I'm angry with you because you don't want to give me grandchildren. How could you be so selfish? Ivor, are you being serious right now? In that time, I remembered a few months back, the last time I'd spoken to Ivor. During a casual conversation, I mentioned that Eric and I decided not to have kids right now because of the state of the economy and the world. Ivor was quiet after I said that, and I didn't think much of it at the time. But now I realized she took it personally. She had this whole vision of being a grandmother, and I guess my decision crushed her expectations. But come on, it's my life and Eric's too. We get to decide when and if we want to have kids, right? I couldn't help feeling a mix of anger and sadness, and I mean, I love Ivor, but she shouldn't be trying to guilt-trip me into having children. It's not fair to put that kind of pressure on me, especially when I'm already dealing with so much. I tried to reason with her, telling her that it's our choice and we're not ready for that responsibility right now, but she just wouldn't listen. It was like she was stuck in her little world where her desires were the only ones that mattered. Iva, I can't believe you're being so selfish right now. Eric and I made a decision together to not have kids. You have no right to force your expectations on us. Selfish? Ha! Look who's talking. You're the one being crazy and selfish, thinking only about yourselves and not about your own family. Our decision not to have kids doesn't make us any less of a family. We're happy with our lives and our choices, and it's not up to you to judge us. Oh, please. Your house getting infested with bugs is just karma for not giving me grandchildren. Maybe if you had kids, you'd have someone to take care of you and your house wouldn't be a disaster. That's a horrible thing to say, Iva. Bugs have nothing to do with whether or not we have kids. And trying to blame it on karma is just ridiculous. You may think it's ridiculous, but I believe in it. You're being selfish and karma is catching up to you. I can't believe you're being so mean and hurtful. I thought you were my family and that you cared about me. Cared about you? Ha! I care about my family having a future, and you're ruining that by not giving me grandchildren. It's not your decision to make. Eric and I are happy with our life together, and we don't need to have kids to validate that. You're just being stubborn and foolish. You'll regret this decision one day, and then it'll be too late. I won't regret it because it's our decision, not yours. And I won't let you or anyone else make me feel bad about it. You're just too selfish to see the bigger picture. You're robbing me of the joy of being a grandmother, and I'll never forgive you for that. I'm sorry if our decision hurts you, but it's not fair for you to put that burden on us. We're living our lives the way we want to, and you should respect that. Respect? Ha! You don't deserve any respect for being so heartless and selfish. I can't believe you're saying these things to me. I thought you loved me, but it's clear that you only care about yourself and what you want. If you loved me, you'd give me grandchildren, but you're just too selfish to do that. I won't let you guilt-trip me into making a decision that I don't want. Our relationship should be based on love and support, not on trying to control each other. Love and support? You don't know the meaning of those words. All you care about is yourself. I'm done with this conversation. I won't let you continue to hurt me with your words. You have some nerve speaking to me like this and being in my home. I should kick you out right now. After she said that, I realized that I had to swallow my pride if I wanted a place to stay. I mean, where else could I go? I had no choice but to stay at her house for a while until our home was rid of those creepy crawlies. I suggested that we just keep our distance and give each other some space during this time. I needed a break from all the shouting and taunting that had just happened. But oh no, Iva couldn't let it go. She was all cocky, thinking she had won the argument, and she kept on making rude comments about the bug infestation and how it was some sort of karma for me not giving her grandchildren. Like, seriously? That's so absurd. I needed to get away from her, so I decided to go to the park for a bit. I just needed to breathe and clear my head from all the drama. I contemplated calling Eric and talking to him about it, but I didn't want to burden him with the drama. He was already doing so much, sorting out a household issue when he wasn't even home. He was my rock, for real, and I didn't know where I would be without him. When I got back and finally wanted to get some rest, I found that the guest room was locked. Can you believe it? I asked Iva to unlock it so I could sleep. And you know what she said? She said it was locked for a reason, that she didn't want me sleeping in the bed and potentially infecting it. Can you imagine how rude that was? I was so shocked by her inhospitability. I mean, I'm her daughter-in-law, for crying out loud. The least she could do is let me sleep in the guest room. I asked if I could sleep on the couch, but she just straight up said, "No, you'll sleep on the floor." I couldn't believe my ears. She repeated herself when she saw that I wasn't responding, thinking that I didn't hear her. Unfortunately, I heard her right the first time. So Iva dared to explain to me that she didn't feel comfortable having me stay in her nice clean beds because she thought I had bugs. Can you believe it? I was so insulted by that. Like, just because my house had a bug infestation doesn't mean I'm bringing them everywhere I go. I straight up told her she was acting crazy for even thinking I'd sleep on the floor. I mean, who does that to their own family? It's so rude and disrespectful. But you know what she said? She said, "If you're not happy here, you can find another place to stay." Can you believe her? It was already pretty late and I didn't want to deal with finding another place, so I decided to just bite the bullet and sleep on the floor. I found a mat in one of the closets and tried to make it as comfy as possible by pulling out some pillows and sheets from my luggage. I mean, it was the least I could do to make myself somewhat comfortable in this crazy situation. So there I was, setting up my mat in the living room, and then I saw Iva come downstairs with this smug look on her face. Ugh, she was getting on my nerves so much. She had the nerve to tell me that she had to go somewhere and that she'd be back later. And get this, she warned me not to snoop around looking for a key to the guest room. Can you imagine? It's like she thinks I'm some sort of thief or something. I couldn't believe the way she was treating me. It was like she was trying to make me feel unwelcome and uncomfortable in her own home. I was just so frustrated and hurt by her behavior. So after that whole mess with Iva, I went to sleep on that uncomfortable mat she made me sleep on. I couldn't help but cry myself to sleep because I just didn't understand why my mother-in-law was so mad at me. I mean, all I did was ask to stay with her temporarily while our house was getting fixed. I didn't deserve all this hostility. But then, a couple of hours later, I was woken up by the sound of Iva screaming in her bedroom. I rushed upstairs to see what was going on, and there she was, all folded up in that Murphy bed she had in her room. It was like the bed had malfunctioned or something, and it seriously injured her. She was screaming for help, and I was scared and shocked. I quickly tried to get her out of bed, but it wasn't easy. It seemed like the remote wasn't working. She was crying and wailing like a baby, and I could tell she was in so much pain. It was a terrible situation, and I felt so helpless. But then, amid all that pain, she accused me of tampering with the bed to make it malfunction. I was just as shocked as she was, and I tried to explain that I was sleeping the whole time and didn't even hear her come back home. Of course, I carried her downstairs and rushed her to the ER. It turned out that she had broken 2 ribs and had a fracture on her leg. It was a pretty serious situation, but she was going to recover just fine. I stayed by her side in the hospital. What? What is it? I just think it's funny how you were talking all day today about karma, and you've ended up in this situation. Iva was taken aback by my comment, but she quickly calmed down. I think she realized that getting worked up would only make things worse, especially since she was already in a fragile state with her injuries. But even at that moment, she didn't apologize or admit she was wrong. It was like she just brushed it off and pretended like nothing had happened. I have to admit, I was hurt and disappointed by her reaction. I thought maybe this would be a wake-up call for her to see how badly she had treated me, but it seemed like she was still unwilling to take responsibility for her actions. I still believe that you did this to me. You'll pay. At that moment, I was tired of her. Even though I didn't touch that bed, I decided to play with her. You know what, Iva? Maybe you're right. What? Yeah, Iva, maybe you're right about that. So you did it? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I guess you'll never know. I'll sue you. Shh, Iva. You don't want to spike your heart rate now, do you? You have a lot of rest to do. Iva was baffled. It was funny to watch. I must have looked like an evil villain to her, and honestly, I'm not mad at it. I wanted her to suffer and think that I was the one who did that to her, even though it wasn't true. I was hoping that she would at least learn not to mess with me if she thought I was crazy enough to do something so evil. I got up and I was ready to go. I was tired of dealing with her nagging. After everything that had happened, I just needed to get away from Iva. She was yelling at me not to leave her alone, saying she was scared to be left alone, but honestly, I didn't care at that point. I told her I would come back in the morning and I would sleep on the couch. But she just kept going on, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I rolled my eyes, turned around, and walked out. I could still hear her shouting after me, but I didn't care. I needed to get out of there. I went back to our home and slept on the couch, and let me tell you, it was the best sleep I had in days. Finally, I was free from my mother-in-law's constant yelling and rudeness. And you know what? I didn't feel bad for her at all. I mean, she brought all of this on herself with her mean and selfish behavior. It was like she was trying to force her wants on us. And that's just not how it works. You can't make someone have kids if they don't want to. So I just shrugged it off and thought, karma's a bitch. She got what was coming to her, and maybe this whole experience will teach her to treat people better in the future. I was just relieved to be away from her and back in the comfort of our own home. It was a crazy, exhausting day, but at least it was over, and I could finally get some peace. Hello, people. My name's Georgia. I have a story of my own about my crazy mother-in-law and sister-in-law. I thought you guys would like this since it has lots of drama, with a hint of revenge. So I decided to tell you some gossip about my life with my in-laws. Me and my husband Leo are a two-person family right now. We are approaching our mid-30s but haven't had kids yet. I guess it truly is a bad thing not to have kids by 30. At least that is what my mother-in-law and sister-in-law always said. My mother-in-law Paula is one of those people who is expert at making others do what she wants. She can be extremely manipulative and demanding of everyone. While she is easy on her daughter Alicia, Leo and his father John have the short end of the stick. Paula has always been on our butts about having kids. She always said, "When are you two having kids? I'm getting tired of waiting." Paula, we just got married last year. We want to be properly settled before planning our future. We will need time. That is not acceptable at all. You guys should have kids right now. I know you're holding your womb hostage. Leo for sure wants to be a dad. Mom, what are you saying? It was a joint decision. We both want to advance our careers a bit before we have kids. We have to be sure that we're capable of having kids. All this is nonsense. Taking care of children comes naturally. It is not good enough excuse for you guys to not have kids. Now that I think about it, it's actually pretty funny. Paula's own words could come back and bite her in the butt. Back then, neither she nor I knew it. Paula never stopped blaming me for not giving Leo kids, as if I was the one who didn't want kids. Alicia, too, joined in on the fun and gave her own opinions. She said, "It's such a shame Georgia can't give you grandchildren. How can someone be so cruel? She's getting old and won't be able to have kids after this. Georgia is such a horrible daughter-in-law. I have no idea why my son decided to marry her. I'm sure she's blackmailing him to not have kids." Georgia, what is your problem anyway? Are you infertile or something? No, Alicia, I'm not infertile, and even if I was, it is rude of you to talk like this. Don't tell her what to do. Alicia's right about everything anyway. She is my only hope now. I'm sure she'll give me the grandchild I always wanted. Paula was right about that one. A few months later, Alicia announced to everyone that she was pregnant. While Paula was super happy for her, me, Leo, and John were not that thrilled. You see, Alicia was 20 back then and not doing anything with her life. No job, no college, not even a plan for the future. All she did was sit at home and gossip with Paula. So when she announced her pregnancy, we had doubts about how she would take care of the baby. When we expressed our doubts, both Paula and Alicia reacted badly. It's not like we told her to give up the baby, we simply encouraged her to start being more serious about her future. We said, Alicia, now that you're pregnant, you should start thinking about your career. A baby is a big financial responsibility. You need to be prepared to deal with everything. Why the hell would I think about that? Being a mother is my career. I don't need to do anything else. Since I will have full custody of the kid, his father will pay me money. The father will just pay child support, Alicia. The money will be for the child. Besides, it's not just a financial aspect. You need to start being serious about life. A child is a lot of responsibility. That's what I've been telling her. Alicia, you need to stop being so lazy. You need to be ready to take care of a baby. It can become taxing since you don't take your responsibilities seriously. Apparently, that was the wrong thing to say. Paula and Alicia erupted into anger at our words. They took it as a personal attack. They said, Dad, you should help out with my finances. I'm just 20 years old. I can't dedicate my whole life to a child. I'm too young for that. Absolutely. Don't worry, Alicia. Me and John will take care of you. Besides, Georgia stays at home all day anyway. She can help with childcare. It's not like she has anything better to do. Yeah, that will teach her how to be a good parent in the future. She sure needs the training. I was pretty stunned at their words. I had no idea why they thought I would agree to babysit a child when I knew nothing about it. Besides, I worked from home and took care of my household. In no way was I sitting idle and doing nothing all day. Back then, I had no idea what trap they were setting for me. I simply thought saying no would do the job. Well, I was wrong. Months passed and Alicia gave birth to a beautiful boy. Baby Andy was born, a pretty healthy child. Everyone in the family was elated. We were all very happy with having a child in the family. Paula was exceptionally happy to have a grandchild, and Alicia was proud to have the first grandchild of the family. However, soon it all became very overwhelming for them. Alicia was losing her mind just a mere week after Andy was born. This girl had no idea how much work a newborn comes with. John and Paula helped as much as they could. However, a mother's responsibility is always more. Soon enough, Alicia was regretting having a baby and started to shift all responsibilities to her parents. The problem was that Alicia and Paula also tried to make me and Leo take over a chunk of childcare. She called us and pestered us to watch the child. Since Leo worked long hours, they couldn't press him as much. However, they pretty much drove me crazy. They said, "You need to take care of Andy more. Poor Alicia is always tired of looking after the baby. Georgia, you should be helping out. Don't be so lazy and selfish." Andy is a few weeks old, Paula. I do not know about taking care of a child. I have already told you that. Even Leo is the same as me. Leo has work, so he gets a pass. You stay at home and do nothing. The least you can do is look after Andy in the morning. That way, I will have time to live my life a little. Every woman would want to look after a child. It's their job. You're being purposely difficult because I had my first grandchild. Absolutely not, Alicia. No offense, but you are the one who chose to have a child. Paula and John help you out plenty. It's not my job to take care of your son. How dare you say that? You are the aunt, and you should look after Andy. Alicia is just a young girl. You're old enough to look after a child. Don't give excuses. No matter how much I tried to make them understand, they wouldn't listen to me. In their eyes, I was a bitter old lady who would rather lounge around than take care of her nephew. I was getting pretty tired of their persistent bullying. However, I had no idea that things would get much worse. One day, I saw that I was added to a strange group chat. It was only me, Paula, and Alicia. I thought that it was really weird that they would add me to anything. I mean, it's not like we were all best friends. Then, the texts started to come in and I knew why I was in the group chat. They said, "Hey, Georgia, I was texting you to tell you that me and Mom will drop off Andy with you tomorrow. You need to babysit him till dinner." You have to be kidding me. Andy is a newborn. You can't just leave him with me. I cannot look after him. I have work, plus I don't even know how to take care of a baby. Well, I don't know that either, but I manage. You'll manage as well. I'll be at your house bright and early. No, I will not agree to this. You can't just leave your newborn with anyone at this stage. I'm not agreeing to this. Don't be a jerk, Georgia. My daughter is exhausted from looking after Andy, so we will go have some fun tomorrow. She is a young girl and needs her share of fun. You cannot deprive her of it. Now stop arguing because it won't work. We will drop off Andy with you tomorrow. No matter how many times I said no, they kept pestering me to accept. In the end, they stopped replying to my texts entirely. I was offended and pissed at the fact that they wanted me to be a standby parent. When I showed Leo the texts, he tried to play it cool. He said, "Don't worry about it, Georgia. I'm sure Mom and Alicia got your message. They will arrange something else." There is no way I'm taking care of a newborn, Leo. If they show up, I will turn them away. I can promise you that. Of course you will. None of us are qualified to take care of a newborn. Mom and Alicia won't be that stupid to force this on you. They are tired and must have spoken out of desperation. Leo tried to calm my fears, but for some reason, I was still anxious. With the experience I had with Paula and Alicia, I knew they would try and con me into caring for Andy. I really hoped they had gotten my message and dropped the topic. They did read my text but never replied, so I was pretty anxious about what they were planning. The next day, my worst fears came to light. That morning, I was going through my usual routine. After Leo left for work, I stepped into the shower to take a warm bath before starting to work. After I was done, I came downstairs to have some food, but when I went to the living room, I heard the cries of a child. Immediately, I was alarmed. The sound was coming from the front door. In my mind, there was only one way there was a child at my door. I went to the door and opened it. What I saw made my blood boil. Andy was crying in her car seat that was right on my driveway. Immediately, I took Andy in and kept him in the living room. It was freaking 100 degrees outside, so he must have been out in the sun for a while. I was furious. Andy didn't even have a diaper bag or formula with him. I had no idea what I should do. First, I called my neighbor who had a child. I begged her for some formula so that I could feed Andy. My neighbor understood my situation and came to give me some formula. She was the one who fed Andy and calmed him down. While she was with Andy, I decided to check the security cameras. Lo and behold, Paula was ringing the doorbell once and leaving Andy in the driveway. I was beyond mad. I called her to get to the bottom of it. When she picked up, I said, "Why the hell have you left Andy in my driveway? The child was out in the heat for at least 10 minutes. What is wrong with you? Where is Alicia?" "You need to calm down, Georgia. Alicia's with me. My poor daughter is tired of being with the baby, so I took her out for a fun day. We will be gone till dinner." "What? But what about Andy? He can't be here all day." "You need to take care of him now. Alicia is tired of looking after Andy. She needs a break. You are the aunt, so you better step up and help out. You sit at home and do nothing anyway. You cannot do this, Paula. You are insane. This is child abandonment. Don't be so dramatic. You're clearly at home and can take care of the child. Andy is not abandoned at all. Listen to me, Paula. I never signed up to take care of the child. You didn't even inform me when you dropped him off here. You and Alicia need to come back immediately or there will be consequences. We are already at a nail appointment. We have way too much planned today. Don't be a witch. Now, I'm going to hang up and turn off my phone so that we can have some fun. Bye. Saying that, Paula simply hung up on me. I was shocked by their irrational behavior. Alicia had also turned off her phone or blocked my number. After 15 minutes of trying to reach them, I was fuming. So I decided to make them face some serious consequences. First, I called Leo to put some sense into his head. When he picked up, I said, Leo, your mom just dropped off Andy on our doorstep. She didn't even call me, just rang the doorbell and left. What? Mom did that? You have to be kidding me. Where is Alicia? Did you call them? Yes, I did call them both. They're together and left for a nail appointment. They demanded that I take care of Andy. From what they said, they won't be back till the evening at least. Oh my God. They have gone freaking crazy. What do we do? I'm going to call the police, Leo. They have abandoned their child on my doorstep. If we don't teach them a lesson, they will never learn. What they did today was unsafe and highly inappropriate. You're right about that, Georgia. Fine. Let me try and reach them. If they don't answer, you can call the police. After hanging up, Leo did try to reach Alicia and Paula. The calls never went through. Paula had only left him a message saying that I needed to stop being a witch and look after Andy. Leo was furious and told me to call the police. That started a chain of events that Paula or Alicia never predicted. I called the police and they were at the house in no time. After shaking them all the security footage and text messages, they called CPS and took the baby into their care. I knew that the police tried to get in touch with Paula and Alicia. Since they switched off their phones, the cops were forced to contact John. John did call me immediately after the police got in touch with him. He was at work and was forced to drive to the police station to get the baby and talk to the cops. When he called me, he said, "What is going on, Georgia? I got a call from the cops that Paula left him at your door." I'm extremely confused. Paula and Alicia are not picking up my calls either. Alicia and Paula left Andy on our driveway. I think Alicia was in the car with her. It's 100 degrees outside. Paula just rang the doorbell and left. I was in the shower and didn't even hear it. I found him when I heard him crying from my bedroom window. Shit. This is insane. I don't know what has gotten into them. Paula told me that you agreed to look after her. I had no idea she would do this. I would have stopped her. Hell, they left the child in this heat. I am sorry for calling the cops, John, but what they did risked the health and safety of Andy. He could have had some health consequences from being too long in the sun. What if I hadn't heard him? Georgia, you didn't have to apologize. You did the right thing. None of this is your fault. Don't worry. I have put up with Paula and Alicia's behavior for a long time now. I think it's time they have some punishment. I'll take care of everything. Don't worry. John hung up the phone and I could tell that he was pissed. Hell, all of us were, actually. Not only did I feel enraged at Paula for crossing my boundaries, but also at Alicia for casually abandoning a child. I may not have a child, but that doesn't mean I'm not worried about Andy. I would have gladly taken care of him if I was free and if he literally wasn't a newborn. Paula and Alicia pushed me too far, and now they would face the consequences. The day went by and Leo returned home from work. Just as we were about to have dinner, Paula showed up on our doorstep. She was literally pounding at our front door and begging to talk. When we opened the door, she fell on her knees and started to cry. She said, "Georgia, please tell the cops that you lied. Tell them that there has been a misunderstanding. They already arrested Alicia for child endangerment and neglect. They'll take me too once they find me. Even the CPS has gotten involved. Alicia will lose the baby. Please don't do this." Both of you belong in jail. You have absolutely no problem abandoning a child. Now you are here begging for mercy. I've put up with your boundary-stomping acts for so long. Today you crossed all limits and put a child in danger. We thought Andy was safe. You would have looked after him. I knew you wouldn't turn away a child, so I thought I could just drop him off and leave. This wouldn't have happened if you had just agreed to babysit. Stop blaming this on Georgia, Mom. You have some nerve trying to justify your actions. You left a baby out in this heat wave. You are a monster. Georgia is right. You belong in jail. As for Alicia, I am sure her ex would be as much better parent than her. She deserves to have Andy taken away. Don't say that, Leo. John has already told me that he won't help. He doesn't even want me in the house anymore. He's threatening to leave me. All of this can be solved if Georgia just talks to the cops and says that it was a misunderstanding. Paula kept crying and begging us. She wanted me to go to the cops and say that it was a misunderstanding, that it was my fault everything happened. Leo was getting extremely pissed, and so was I. Leo then threatened to call the cops to take her away. She got scared and left. In the aftermath of the police call, Paula was ultimately arrested when she tried to flee from the city. She was promptly put in jail, just like Alicia. No one from the family wanted to help them out. Even John said that they need to deal with their mess. Alicia was forced to give the cops her ex's information so that they could have the baby placed with him. But since he was out of state, they gave us Andy temporarily. John agreed that this would be the best solution at the moment. Andy stayed with us until his dad flew here the next day. He brought his lawyer so that they could get emergency full custody of the child. Paula managed to get bail for herself and Alicia, but they had no place to go. John kicked them out and told Paula that he would file for divorce. Since the house was in his name, they couldn't stay there for now. The duo came to us for help, but we didn't even open the door. Later, they managed to stay with a family friend. However, she only gave them a month to stay, so it looks like both Alicia and Paula would have to get jobs. It seems unlikely that Alicia will get anything more than just visitation for now. She's unemployed with no place to stay. CPS won't allow her to keep the baby, and neither will the courts. Me and Leo have both blocked their numbers, so we are currently staying away from the drama. Only the future will tell what comes out of this. However, we are sure both Paula and Alicia will have way more trouble than they have now. Hi, this is Melanie. I'm 30 years old and I work as an editor in New York City. I had a husband, but now we're really not on terms. This was a sudden thing that happened between us and something that had to do with his parents. The main reason was his betrayal. We're still working on our divorce. He has not come to terms with it, but I don't give a rat's ass anymore. He was working as a bartender in a renowned restaurant. For privacy reasons, I won't be mentioning the names of the places we work at. He was in his own lane and I was working as an intern at the time. So, feeling independent, I wanted to take my parents to a fancy restaurant, and this one was very near to where I lived. How convenient, isn't it? Well, now I wish I had chosen a different restaurant. My parents were very happy for me. I was always an underconfident girl, so the fact that I got a job in New York as an intern writer really changed my perspective. They were hesitant at first, but when I assured them, they agreed. New York is a big city, and somehow, with the favor of luck, I managed to find a second-hand apartment. The man was really old and he wanted to give it away before going to his daughter's place in Michigan. This felt like my calling because, weirdly enough, I'm from Michigan too. The place was a 3-bedroom apartment. It was pretty decent and neat. The amazing fact was I got it for cheap. The restaurant where Greg used to work was a 20-minute drive from there. When we reached, there was a party going on, some rich person's birthday. Thank God I booked 3 reservations, or it would have been really embarrassing for me. The place was cozy and there were many people, but we had a really private compartment just for ourselves. We were having a casual chit-chat about work and life when suddenly a waiter came and handed out drinks to the 3 of us. When I asked the waiter who gave it, he simply pointed me at a counter. I looked and saw a tall, charming blonde man. He was serving drinks and talking to other people. At first, I didn't pay much attention, but later I noticed him making eye contact with me. I don't know why I was blushing, but I did anyway. My parents understood the vibe and they nudged me to talk to him and that they would sit here and enjoy themselves. I was shy, but I went ahead to the counter. He was very attractive, at least to me. So, how much for the extra drinks? We didn't really order this. It's on the house, ma'am. That's really sweet of you, but I don't really need anything free. I'll pay for it. My parents are here and I don't want them to think of it as a present. Is this your first time in this restaurant? Yes, I actually am new here. I've got a job as an intern recently. Oh, really? Me too. I just joined here. It's been a month. That's nice. It's nice to see someone like me here. Before we even knew, we were already giggling and laughing at stupid things and each other's jokes. Greg had a friendly demeanor and my 27-year-old heart couldn't contain the emotions they were feeling. As I said, I was very shy and kept to myself, so had very few friends during school and uni life. For some reason, Greg made me feel at ease, like I can talk to him without thinking. Melanie. And yes, maybe sometimes when I feel bored and stressed with work, I wouldn't mind a drink or two. Well, Melanie, it was really a pleasure knowing you. His parents lived in Australia. He was born there, but he decided to come to New York City later on because it was his dream city. He was always wary of his family. He loved them a lot, but also was scared of them. He would often call them and request them to come visit. The thing is, I did not like it when he hid me from them. He would always say that he was with someone from work. You keep hiding me from them. Is it a problem? Yes. No, I mean, they do not have to know. They won't be missing anything. Plus, there would be ample time to introduce you to them. All right, then. I really hope I'm not causing you any trouble. I just like being with you, and I just want us to be a bit honest with each other, that's all. Well, you aren't really my girlfriend, so I don't really have to. Besides, if things go well between us, I can think of making some amends. Right now, it's not my priority. Those words stung me like thorns on the rose. I mean, I know we weren't a thing at that time, but he gave me all those mixed signals that really confused me. Plus, I was so stupid and naive to think he could possibly love anyone. Then again, he would take me to nice places and show me around whatever he had explored when he came to this city. I was feeling very free and happy. The accomplishment felt well achieved. By the end of the fall, Greg started to go all romantic with me. It confused me even more. I mean, I liked him, but he never really showed any interest to begin with. He would call us partners in crime, and to be honest, I didn't know what to feel about that. Meanwhile, my work was well appreciated and I managed to get a raise. We celebrated the event by having a picnic in the nearby park. That's when I realized he was holding and intertwining my fingers. I felt a tad bit uncomfortable. I didn't like how he was toying with me. So, Melanie? Yes? What do you think of us? What do you mean? You know what I mean. I feel nice around you if that's what you want to know. Just nice? Nothing more? I don't know what else to say, Greg. You said we were friends, and you are a good friend. Friend, you say? Do you think friends like spending this much time together? I had nothing to answer. Greg wanted me as his partner. It has been almost a year and a half since we've known each other, and I'm getting old. I told Greg that I needed time. He'd said he'd wait, but not for long because he is too impatient. He moved in with me soon after, and it started to feel like the real deal. Even my mind started to feel conflicted the moment he drew the ring. I did say yes. It sounded as if those were the only words that wanted to come out. The proposal was grand, and it made me feel really special. I was happy that it was Greg. I don't know if this was bad luck or a bad omen. Greg lost his job within 4 months of getting married. After the official business was done, Greg happily moved into my apartment. We took our time fixing the space so that we can make room for everything. My parents were happy, but also skeptical. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Greg was the kind of husband who would really love me, but not seem to acknowledge me in front of other people. There were times when we went to parties and he would let me go to hang out with his friends. He would not really introduce me until I made the move. He still wouldn't tell his parents. So, babe, shouldn't we let your family know once? Yes, in time. Not now. Why are you always in a hurry? Again? Why not? Jesus, Greg, this is too much. Don't you think? What is wrong with us? Look, I have a lot of explanations to give, and I need time. So don't meddle in things you don't understand. I didn't understand what the explanation was, but I was patient. The only thing that I wanted from him was to acknowledge me. He would go meet his boys every now and then, sometimes without informing me. I would receive his phone calls after he had reached there. This would continue for a while when he suddenly lost his job. The reason he gave me was that he fought with his colleague and did some collateral damage. He told me that he would borrow my money for a while until he gets another job. I remember him crying in his bedroom like a little boy. I wonder what goes on in that head of his. Well, don't worry about the money. Just let me at least know what's going on. It's an emergency, and I promise I will make it up to you once I get the job, okay? I tried to keep our house together, made some renovations and changes. My parents were also sending me money sometimes so that I could handle the household a bit more efficiently. I was happy to feel independent, but you see, sometimes money can get spent very quickly. I too need support, and as much as I love Greg, I wanted him to help me as soon as possible. One day, his words fell on me like explosives. Honey, I have something to tell you. My parents? What about it? They will come to visit you. I mean us. Huh? Okay. Did they say when? In 2 days. I've arranged everything. I just need you to do a small favor. Okay. Can you please tell my parents that I bought this apartment and all the other things? They are unaware of the fact that I don't have a job, and it would be kind of embarrassing if they, I know it sounds weird, but my parents are really judgmental and scary if they get to know I lost my job. Babe, please understand this. Okay, fine. It is temporary. You know how bad I am at lying. They won't know. Don't worry. I just... Try at least, please. Whatever you need. I didn't like the offer he made, but I had nothing else to do. I thought maybe it was temporary, so I let it slide this one time. Greg was suddenly very loving and caring towards me. He would make me breakfast and sometimes even dinner. It's not like I wasn't enjoying it, but I couldn't help but think that it felt rather odd. I wanted to take a few days off so that I can spend some time with his family. My boss was kind enough to give me 3 days and also promised to not cut any money. I was, after all, a hard-working woman. They will be here any minute. Is everything ready? How do I look? You look fine. Just stop fidgeting. You are making me nervous. Yeah, okay, I'm fine. The cab reached in front of the apartment gate around the afternoon. I was very nervous, but I knew that I had to be my very best self in front of them. They came upstairs looking very stern and serious. I had never met someone who would look as intimidating as his parents. They were tall and blonde just like him, but their faces had a disgusted expression. Once they entered the room, they were rather pleased. They scanned every nook and cranny of the place as if they were judging the household that I so dearly built. But then again, my credit wasn't there. No bad. Pretty nice. Love the little decor. Your choice? Yes, mostly. And a little bit of help from Melanie. Oh, yes, the wife. What is it that you do, dear? I work in editorial content. Oh, a writer, basically. Yes, well, not like an author or something, but yes. Why don't you sit and relax? I will get you all something to eat. Isn't that Melanie's job, dear? She must be making you work really hard. Oh, no. I love to help around. Melanie, dear, why don't you get to know each other? I would go and get something to eat. Sure. I sat there silently while they kept looking around. I was feeling hella nervous. I didn't know what to say or do, and just kept staring at their annoyed expressions. They didn't like me. That was clear to me. So, my son's working in a corporate office? He must be really tired. Do you do everything for him, like tending and all? Yes, I do. He's earning quite well, seeing the interior condition. Are you able to support him? Yes. Greg tells me that you have not been able to give him time. Really? So, what have you contributed so far, other than taking in all his expenses? Excuse me? We were interrupted by a coffee break from Greg. I noticed the cup he presented me was bad and almost broken, whereas he served the 2 of my best cups to his parents. He gave me no snacks, but gave them a plate full of Cheez-Its. So, how's everything? Why did you both get married exactly? Well, don't you think you were a bit fast? No, I just wanted to marry her because I like her. Right. Well, was the journey comfortable? Nobody responded. I started to grow very uncomfortable. I eyed Greg. He eyed back. We both got up and went into our room. What the hell was that? What was what? That attitude. Why are they being like this? I don't know. Did you say anything? Say? I just freaking kept answering their interrogations, and you saw how when I asked something, they didn't respond. Well, maybe they're just jet-lagged. They'll be fine. Let's take them out today. Can I borrow your card? This is wrong, Greg. They think I don't do anything for you. This is terribly insulting. Honey, I know. Just a few more days, babe. They'll be gone. Fine. The evening was horrible. Greg went ahead and gave his parents a treat from my card. I didn't feel welcome, so I loitered around the shops and stuff. I was feeling lost. I didn't know if things were going well at all. I was thinking about the times when I made important decisions. Well, The fact that I did rush with marriage says a lot. I mean, many people take these decisions pretty lightly. I sighed and scrolled through my phone. My best friend from work left me 3 messages. I felt like I could just call him once. Hey! Yeah, what's up? You didn't reply to me. Caught up with a situation here. I think I messed up. I'm scared. With Greg? Yeah. Well, how about we meet up tomorrow? Oh, wait, you took 2 days off. Anyways, I can't. Greg's parents are here. That bimbo called his parents? Finally? Matthew. Okay, sorry. Well, how are his parents? They hate me. The conversation would have gone on for a long time when suddenly I heard footsteps from behind. I immediately cut the call. It was Mary. She looked like she would beat me or something. I was low-key expecting that, not gonna lie. She came and glared at me. Well, enjoyed the... You are robbing my son of his money. What? You have been depending on him for so long. He's devastated. Wait, what did he tell you? That you are a leech. My hands became cold. I was speechless. This wasn't happening to me. Greg told me to pretend, but we didn't talk about this type of pretense. I was the leech, the one who was holding him off for so long, who made the apartment worthwhile for living in, who took care of him. I heard you've been taking half the ownership of his. I will not let that happen. Give him full authority over this place. What? Authority? Half? I'm not really clear on what you are. You will not share this apartment with him. Gold digger. Seduce my boy for his money? I should have known from the start. Take your belongings and leave. We do not approve of this marriage. I looked behind her to see Greg and my father-in-law chatting and smiling at each other. Tears were filling my eyes. My anxiety rose to its peak. I could feel my throat drying up, but I knew I had to cover for Greg until I got the chance to speak to him. I smiled at him, and he didn't return it. We head back. I was really exhausted. I wanted to speak to him, but he was still talking to his parents. Once it ended, he came to the living room and switched on the TV. I sat beside him. So, can we leave the pretense? Just for a little while? Sure. I love you. Me too. So, whatever you cooked up with your family, it is temporary, right? Look, Melanie, maybe you should go back to Michigan for a while till I figure this out, okay? My parents are going to stay for a while. What are you saying? You heard me. That was it. The last conversation I had. He gave me silent treatment no matter how much I questioned him. He didn't budge. He just went silently to bed. I was crying all night at Matthew's place. His wife was really sweet to give me a space to stay for the night. I was kicked out of my own house. Matthew was dumbfounded by the situation. You do know that you still have the power to destroy his life, right? He's still jobless, using your card. Yes. Look, give him the ownership of the apartment. After all, he won't be able to pay the bills. The debt will kill him. But what if he refuses to take the offer? He is so dumb. He will. He thinks he can get away with it. What about our marriage? Are you kidding me? You still want to stay with that turd after all this? Please, you deserve better. I had a thorough discussion with Matthew about what to do next. It was a difficult execution, but if I pulled it out well, this would work. I saw my phone that day. Greg called me 3 times. I messaged him saying I made a decision. The next day, I met Greg in a nearby cafe. He apologized to me greatly. I remained silent. Well, I know things are messed up. Look, for now, Go to Michigan and stay with your parents. I will take care of the things here and then come back to take you. Sure. And? Then I'll try to get a job. But for now, can I please keep your card, honey? Yeah. I've also decided on giving you ownership of the apartment. For now, let me pay all the bills. Later on, you can return me back. Wow. Are you sure? Yes. I will make things right, babe. I promise. I realized how easily he took the deal, without even thinking about all my hard work and effort. I knew then it was all over. And also, he is dumb. I went back to Michigan and requested my boss to let me work from home since I had a family emergency. My boss was extremely considerate. I cried a lot at my parents' house. I told them everything and they were furious, but they didn't scold me. I learned a valuable lesson. Now it was time to take action. I blocked my card, which was being used by Greg. After the ownership was given to Greg, I made sure not to keep any written documents on me, claiming I would continue to pay bills and stuff. So naturally, I cut that off too. Let's see how he pays all the debt piling up. Matthew gave me another offer of a cozy 2-bedroom apartment somewhere near my office back in New York. I accepted it. It was kind of him to help me out through this process. I went to court along with my family and worked on the divorce papers that would be sent to him soon. I made sure he was cut off from all supplies on my part financially and emotionally. He was dependent on me. He thought he would lie and keep me away from everyone and would also use me for his own benefit. Now, that's not going to happen anymore. Enough. After a month, I received an unknown call. I picked it up and surprisingly, it was Mary, Greg's mother. She was frantically crying and apologizing. Is this Melanie? Dear, it's me, Greg's. Oh, yes. How can I help? I'm really sorry. My son made a small mistake and now he's in deep trouble. Oh, really? What kind of trouble? His card was declined and he's received a warning letter for not being able to pay water and electricity bills. But he has a job. He can do it. No, dear. Look, I understand. We made a mess. He didn't mean it. Please give us a bit of money, just enough for us to get plane tickets. Oh, really? Now? Sorry, no. I'm going to send something else, though, later on. What? Divorce papers. I hung up. It was hilarious how Greg didn't even have money to pay for his parents' flight tickets to get back. Of course, he couldn't. He was probably planning to bring his parents here permanently since he had to pay for his parents' bills back in Australia. I became his source of money. But he wanted to man up, so he told his parents that the whole apartment was his and everything was his doing. But now, he will be getting warning letters after letters until the government decides to cut off his power source. He has to pay all of that at once. I wonder how he will be managing. I don't care anymore. Greg was new in New York City. There was no possible way he could fish off help from someone, and the restaurant he was working in hated him to the core because he did cause hazards there. Meanwhile, I have a new apartment and 2 dogs. Matthew gave them to me. They are really adorable. The divorce papers were sent long back. I know it would take time because Greg calls me every night to help him and apologizes, but I don't listen. I mostly cut the call on him. Recently, I got promoted as an editor, and now I feel like I am finally settled. Hello, I'm Judy. I'm currently 29. I've been married for 2 years now. We don't have children, but I would like to say that we're proud owners of 2 dogs and 1 cat. My husband and I have settled comfortably in Pennsylvania. Things were not that difficult for us, but my mother-in-law was extremely problematic. Initially, she used to visit us often, and boy, the time we had to deal with her absurd demands. Eric was a neutral man. He tried to make both ends meet. He didn't want to anger either of us. But sometimes you can't really take sides of a madman. I was working as a cashier in the local departmental store at the time. It was a boring-ass job, and my shift was mostly from early morning to evening until my colleague took my place. The pay was terrible, but it paid my bills nonetheless. It was like a day like this I met Eric. He came into our department store along with his mother. They were looking for some cosmetics and cooking items. I found him really cute. He was tall, had glasses, brown hair, and had a good sense of fashion. He just strolled around with his cart. I was waiting patiently for them. The moment he approached the counter, my heart skipped a beat. He was even cuter up close. As I was making their bills, his mother demanded that I segregate some of the items in different packets. Geez, I hate when I have to do that. Why can't she and her son do it? Mom, not again. Here, let me do it for you. No, baby, let the young girl do it. She knows her job. She gets paid for it. I get it, but there are a lot of items. If we don't provide an extra hand, it's going to take forever, and there are people waiting in line, Mom, please. Son, when I say I want the young girl to do it, I want her to do it. Now be a good boy and stand aside. This was probably the weirdest thing I witnessed. I was 26 at the time and he was probably 27 to 28. Still being treated like a big baby. I giggled quietly to myself. The son was super embarrassed. He couldn't even make a single eye contact with me. After all the things were packed, they left. The mother was overly talkative and demanding. She waited for a whole ass 8 minutes, guiding me on how to put what in what packets. When something was done not to her liking, she would immediately stop you and make you do it whole damn thing again. I feel bad for the girl who would marry the guy. A hell of a woman she would have to deal with. I was done with my shift for the day. I got changed and headed outside when suddenly I saw someone walking up towards me. It was the guy from today morning. He looked so flustered. He bought a few things and handed it over to me. Hey, look, my mom was very rude today and I'm sorry on her behalf. She can get a little... Oh my God, you really didn't have to. That is awfully nice of you. It's all right. I have dealt with customers like that. Yeah, but well, how can I make it up to you? It was just a small thing, really. You don't have to worry about making it up to me. Geez, besides, you already got, checks the packet, ice cream. I do run an art gallery, like I'm the curator. Well, in simple words, I manage artists' work and showcase their talent. People come to watch and critique and all other boring stuff. But it can get a little less boring if you can come to my place for a little cup of coffee. What do you say? Are you asking me on a date? Well, if you want to look at it that way, then be it so. You don't really mind, do you? I don't, but is this all for what happened today, or... To be honest, no. I found you really cute, and damn, this is embarrassing. Rather, visit my gallery. I'll get time to muster some courage by then. Here's my card. You can give me a call at any time. It was a pleasure meeting you. Looks at the card. Eric, I'm Judy, just in case. Pleasure was all mine, Judy. See you soon. Let's hope so. He left with a swag. I must say, I have hit some jackpot this life. A curator who owns an art gallery shows interest in plain old boring me? Well, okay, let's see how long this can go. Weeks passed and the memory of our encounter lingered in my mind. I finally mustered the courage to take Eric up on his invitation. I took his card from my purse and gave his number a call. Hello, Judy. Wait, how did you know it was me? I never called you before. You may call it anything, guess, telepathy, or intuition. I think I would call it waiting desperately for my crush to call. Oh, shh, you're exposing my secret. So, Judy, Did you think about my proposal? Of course, that's why I called. I wanted to take an appointment, dear sir. You are indeed funny. There's no appointment needed when it's you. Just come a little before lunch, as I have things to prepare. We wouldn't want you to barge in on your surprise now, would we? Okay, now I'm super curious. This isn't fair. I hate cliffhangers. Well then, let's not wait for the next episode. Tomorrow, 11? Yes, done deal, monsieur. The day I visited the gallery, I was wearing a nice floral dress, makeup not too much, kept it elegant and simple. The moment I reached the alley, a rush of excitement and nervousness washed over me. I had always appreciated art, but had never delved deep into its rich tapestry. As I walked through the gallery's doors, I was greeted by Eric, who handsomely grinned. He took me on a personalized tour, sharing stories about the various artists and their work. The passion and knowledge he exuded were contagious, and I found myself captivated by his every word. We spent hours strolling through the gallery, lost in the beauty that surrounded us. Eric's eyes sparkled with joy as he described the emotions and stories behind each piece. It was as if the art came alive under his guidance, whispering secrets and inviting us to dive deeper into their mysteries. So, doesn't it get difficult, the competition, I mean? While my gallery is smaller and more compact than the famous ones, I introduce underrated artists. Many rich clients wanted to buy from this place. I may not have reached fame, but it's not fame that I seek. I seek the joy of exploring new concepts and meanings. It's just me. You are different, Eric. It's nice to see someone not running after recognition all the time. Oh dear, it is 30 minutes past 1. You must be hungry. Shall we eat? His dining room was something straight out of a Victorian novel. It was so pretty and well decorated. I was baffled by the aesthetic sense of this man. I was now low-key getting really insecure. I felt like Eric was too good for me. I mean, any woman would be charmed by the elaboration made by him. The table looked like royalty. Geez, do I even deserve this? Of course I don't. But Eric never made me feel small. He was warm and welcoming, even offered to serve me. You did all this for us? Are you serious? Of course. Why not? It's just the two of us. Oh, Eric, you really didn't have to work so hard just for us. I would have been happy with takeout, really. Nonsense. Takeout for a lovely lady? Absolutely not. We were having such a wonderful time with beautiful background music taking place. I almost got lost in my own wonderland when suddenly we both heard rapid footsteps down the hallway. It came closer to the door and the door swung open. It was Eric's mother. The woman made a dashing entrance which reminded me of those soap opera actresses. I tried my best to contain my laughter. Oh, here you are. I've been screaming your name and no response. How hurtful. I thought you weren't home, but here I see you're having dinner with a... Eric's eyes widened with a mixture of shock and concern. He quickly rose from his attempts to conceal his uneasiness. My heart raced as I stood up, feeling a wave of anxiety wash over me. I had not anticipated this unexpected encounter with his mother. Mother, this is Judy. She's a friend. A very special friend. I know who she is. The lazy cashier from the departmental store. I can remember her face when I need to. His mother's piercing gaze shifted from Eric to me, her eyes following my every move. I felt a sudden urge to shrink under her gaze, but I stood my ground, determined not to let her judgment affect me. Well, Eric, I didn't realize you were inviting street cats into our home. It would have been nice to be informed. Mom, please don't talk like that. I was about to. I wasn't aware that you were coming today. Well, I was here to deliver my home-cooked pie, but you have a whole food galore going on yourself. I'll just keep it on the table. Whether you eat it or throw it, it's up to you. Oh, Mother. Mrs. Anderson, how about you join us? I mean, we do have plenty, and we would love it if you could make some time. Kim was unfazed by my proposal. She kept the pie on the table and looked sharply at Eric. Well, I hope you're enjoying your meal, dear. Remember, we have an appointment later. Don't let this distraction get in the way. She left. The room was filled with silence. I felt like the aftermath of a tidal wave hitting a lonely shore. We tried to keep our composure after that. I could see Eric was shaking. He did seem like the sensitive kind, and I loved that about him. I poured some champagne into his glass. He looked at me. He couldn't help but feel extremely at fault for his mother's behavior. Eric, I understand if you need to go. Judy, I'm sorry about my mother's behavior. It's complicated. But I don't want her to ruin our time together. Let's finish our lunch. As we continued our meal, the sound of laughter gradually filled the room once more, pushing back against the lingering tension. We focused on the love and companionship we shared, allowing it to be our shield against the toxicity that occasionally seeped into Eric's life. We used to have secret outings and risky dates. His mother was always up on his heels. She would always call and ask him if he was with me or not. He would give some excuse and then cut the call. The connection between Eric and me blossomed into a deep and profound love. We continued to explore the realms of art, creativity, and life together, allowing our shared passions to strengthen the bond that grew between us. However, with each passing day, the disapproval from Eric's mother, Mrs. Anderson, grew more evident. She made her disdain for our relationship known. She opposed our love and dismissed it as nothing more than a passing phase. Her constant disapproval cast a shadow of doubt and uncertainty over our path. But, despite the hatred from Mrs. Anderson, Eric and I never wavered in our commitment to each other. We faced the world hand in hand, supporting one another through thick and thin. Eric always had a clear head. I was the hot-headed one, but I had surprised myself by remaining calm whenever a heated argument rose between Kim and us. We were equally persistent and soon decided to get married. Whether it was out of spite or love is a debate for some other day. I settled in with Eric. Of course, Kim didn't attend the wedding. She claimed it to be an atrocity. I left my apartment. I was kind of relieved that I didn't have to pay rent anymore, but most importantly, I was with the right man. Are you planning to remain a cashier forever? For the time being, yes. I'll be looking for other jobs though, and also I was thinking, well, be quick about it. I know you're planning to take advantage of my son's expenses, but as long as I'm breathing, I would never allow that. He's a self-made individual, and I expect you to bring yourself up to his standards. You know, I can't really match up with his stature, but I assure you I will provide equally for him. I love him. We are like a team. I just want you to have a little bit of faith in me. Psst, with that qualification, I hardly doubt you'll be able to provide at all. And it is too early to call this love. We'll see how long it lasts. A few days later, Jonah and Mia, a married couple filled with curiosity and a thirst for art, decided to explore Eric's gallery. The moment they stepped into the exhibition, their eyes widened in awe at the stunning collection before them. Little did they know that their visit would not only deepen their appreciation for art, but also introduce them to a lifelong friendship. As a witness to their excitement, I approached Jonah and Mia with a warm smile, eager to share in their enthusiasm. These pieces are exquisite. I must say it's rare to see street art these days, like the one where the lady holds this blue umbrella under the mundane weather. The splash of colors is so vibrant and emotional. I couldn't agree more. Are you the curator? Oh, no, my husband is. He's gone for a while. We'll be back soon. Do you need anything? Tea, coffee? How kind of you. Would definitely like some tea, no, dear? I don't mind. Jonah and Mia sat down with me and we struck up a lovely conversation. Eric followed later on. We had one of the best times. They were a humorous little duo. It felt like we were old friends. Eric later decided that they should join us for dinner. Our bond grew stronger and we became inseparable. Eric's mother was not happy with it at all. She would pay random visits, interrupt our time, and take Eric with her for some important stuff. She was never approving of our marriage. I doubt things would get any better. Mia came over another day and I had to vent my piled up frustration. Mia, you won't believe what in the devil I've been dealing with. My crazy mother-in-law has been incredibly toxic since the dawn of our relationship. It's been extremely draining and affecting us. Don't even start. Mother-in-laws are basically made to create nothing but damage. They are attention-starved creatures. They have no life to ponder into. They're like flies hovering over fresh meat. Oh, sheesh, girl, you must be going through a lot yourself, huh? I mean, I was, but then Jonah and I decided to confront her about it. Trust me when I say the aftermath was not pretty. I meant it. She made some scenes. I'm just glad we have left and past it. Should I confront her too? How does Eric feel about it? Well, he mostly takes my side. He's not the kind of guy who likes conflicts. He tries to mediate, but he's torn between his loyalty to me and his family. It puts a strain on our relationship, and I can't help but feel trapped. Kim's birthday was coming soon, and we thought to take a chance. Eric and I decided to give her a painting of herself. The idea was mine, but the cost would be handled by Eric. He was happy, but also felt a tad bit sad. He knew his mother was very picky about gifts. He just hoped she liked it. But it was really not worth it. I would never forgive that woman. What the hell is this? Mom, this was a small birthday gift from... Birthday gift from you? Kim inspected the painting. You think you can try to get in my heart through this gesture? Well, you are wrong. I didn't need this shit. Take it back to whatever garbage you brought it from. I left it there. I didn't want to give it back. It was, after all, an effort made by Eric as well. He went to one of his finest artists and paid him $50,000. That is no joke. I felt so bad. I told him I will pay it off to him bit by bit. He charged me nothing, but I can't let him through bankruptcy just for his mother. When I came back, I couldn't believe what I saw. I stood there in utter shock, witnessing the most vile character of a human being. My mother-in-law, whom I had tried so hard to please and win over, had just torn apart what she believed to be a gift given by me. But little did she know her impulsive act had unleashed a wave of regret that would crash over her in an instant. The room fell into an eerie silence as mother-in-law stood, holding the torn canvas in her hands, an evil smirk on her face. Her eyes glinted with what appeared to be satisfaction, unaware of the weight of her actions. I watched as the torn pieces of what she believed was a valuable painting fluttered to the floor. There you go. Since you wouldn't do it yourself, I did it. Mother, but why? This is a very expensive gift. So, who told you to spend your money on me? No, it wasn't my... I could hear rapid footsteps down the hallway. Eric entered with a birthday cake in his hand. Before he could ask anything, he looked at the torn canvas on the floor. The room seemed to freeze at that moment. The tension was heart-stopping. I exchanged a glance with Eric, silently acknowledging the ruse we had played on mother-in-law. It was a test, a way to reveal her true colors and see how she valued our relationship. What did you do, Mother? That fine piece of work cost a fortune. How could you? Wait, you paid for this? And you destroyed it like it was some piece of scrap? Do you realize that Judy was thoughtful enough to give you a gift after all that you have done to her? After the filthy names you called her? I was unsure, but she convinced me to give it another chance. That there was a way of showing affection where she could make you understand that she was not your enemy. Eric, No, Mother, You have spoken enough. I've always tried to make things better amongst us, but you are hell-bent on making things worse. What kind of a mother are you? A mother who's not happy with their son's happiness does not have the right to be called a mother. Eric, hey, calm down. No, Judy, I have had enough, faces Kim. Do you know what was the cost of that painting? $50,000. Can you imagine? But we still managed it somehow. It was, after all, your birthday. I'm so sorry. I really didn't. Just get out. Never ever show your face to me again until you compensate me all the money. Do you hear me? Eric, are you sure about this? Of course. Mother dearest here needs a lesson. She's obviously crossed the threshold this time. Kim left crying profusely. It has been more than a year since I've seen her. Whatever transactional affair she had with her son happened in private. She is trying her best to compensate for the damage with whatever she could earn. She begged to stay with us, but Eric and I refused to let negativity dictate our lives. Slowly, I left my job as a cashier. I helped Eric part-time with his gallery and applied for another job very close to where we live. It was a plant shop. The old lady wanted an apprentice for a long time, so I signed in. We got 2 dogs, a beagle and a dachshund, plus a stray cat. Jonah and Mia became our closest friends. They often visit us and vice versa. Trust me, life couldn't get any better after that. I'm just glad we managed to get past it and are trying our best to nurture each other as much as possible.